That was such a terrible way to open back up the second spot. Hello and welcome back to Blade 68. We're down at the basement of the Ministry of Discovery, but they've got a couple doohickeys, couple big giant rocket ship.
A lot of doohickeys tonight.
Oh boy, we are so far in over our heads.
Mm-hmm. My dad's here.
Yeah, we got. We have to have a showdown with Major Bowen.
Do we though? Like,
oh yeah.
Do I gotta?
Well, if you don't, Hollis will. But Karen, I think you said in chat right as we were leaving, that's when Hollis like slams her head or across, like slams her, or Kitty. He says like he slams her helmet back on. Yeah, I imagine we're all back to. We were pretty cavalier beforehand, but now we're all back in our disguises. I have an idea, and this could be this conversation could be happening while we're on the big long escalator, so it's not necessarily happening right here as we've gotten at the moment. But I said, Brainwave 60 was pretty impressed by you, Kitty. I don't think it wanted to admit it.
Look, it said it didn't want us to die, so I'm gonna take that as a win.
I think it's a win, and I wonder if we could get it to trigger an evacuation alarm and tell people there's been a temporal anomaly because there just was one. Because I'm pretty sure I just fucking saw my future.
Yeah. Oh my god, we should. I start turning around, start walking back. It's like walking on one of those
yeah. Oh no, I got it, and I want to. Have while I was wiring in the tracking device, I want to have dropped a receiver so that we could communicate.
Smart.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Because I was inside it feels like a reasonable thing,
Yeah. That's zero stress for sure, right? That's good to do.
Yeah.
Did it just hear me say that I think it cares about us?
I mean, we weren't talking over the radio. We were just talking between us.
Okay.
But
I think he's like, oh my god, did he hear me?
I mean, if you want to have been doing that on radio, it's totally
funny.
Yeah. So I feel like Kitty, as the rating champion of Red Check, in one, you may be able to convince it to help us when we get down there.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna click it on and be like, B-dubs, can you hear me?
B-dubs?
Yeah, it's your name for this. I decided to give you a name. It's Brainwave, but it's shorter. It's more.
More
times.
Have you given your name to Brainwave?
Oh my god, no! I am Kitty. It's Kitty.
Oh, just, from before.
Yeah,
yes.
The one who just Red Check with you. Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, do you?
like 2 minutes ago. Yeah.
Don't know if you know, but there was actually a time anomaly that happened right before we got to you. We just kind of I don't know, blurred out of our brains because it was just too much for us. But is there alarms that usually happen for that?
There are usually alarms for that. Yes. Are you asking me to put on the alarm, Kitty?
I mean, if you could, please, just it'd be nice.
I I do have important things to do, but I suppose in this instance, yes, well, and then alarms start going off.
Oh my god, B-dubs, you're the best.
Work with the computer successfully.
It started I put my hand over it, even though I didn't click it on. I'm like, it started it, okay?
I just realized I should have called for a roll, but it's too late. It worked.
You have such high sway. She beat his ass in Red Check. I think it's fine.
It all tracks.
I'm sure it could spare one of its 1,000 cycles to have a love affair and to fall for Kitty. I mean, who wouldn't fall for Kitty?
So as you arrive at the previously described hangar, the alarm's going off. Things are, in chaos basically. People are scrambling to lock things down, unplug fuel lines, get things ready. Other people are evacuated immediately. What do you want to do?
I feel like our priority is the pilots, and I'd like to focus on them, and the ship is a secondary possibility, because we're not doing this score for Blackstone Park. Like, they gave us an offer. We've got a bunch of explosives if we so choose to use them, but I don't think.
Do you want to split up?
Oh,
I think we gotta.
Yeah.
I think we gotta.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing what?
all right. Who wants to go out?
I think I will go to convince the pilots to leave, because I think that's where I'm probably best suited, is convincing people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hollis is like, Hollis really wants to go. Like, as a person, he's like, he really wants to go, and so Hollis, is, you're like, I'm gonna go. He's like, if anybody makes it out, please make sure, if you can, that Brackley is one of them. I don't know those other people. I don't want them to get turned into hulls, but he's.
Oh, Brackley still showed up today?
Yeah, he didn't have the option not to.
Oh, okay.
But he's the one I want to get out of this the most.
All right, I'll do my best.
So Hollis is going to blow up the rocket?
Blow up / steal stuff from.
So sorry, did we have an evacuation alert go off?
Yes.
Yeah, the alarm is going off. People are sort of, I mean, there are still people here, but they're panicking. And
I figured this gives us the cover to go do shit and not have to constantly be trying to sneak behind corners. That everyone, if there's pandemonium, we can run around and do stuff.
Yeah, there's pandemonium. There's an alarm going off. There are lights flashing. Scientists running everywhere.
Yeah.
So which group is cross? Or are you going to do a third thing?
Yeah.
Secret third thing.
Wait, Hollis, what are you doing? Are you gonna go plant the bomb, or?
Yeah. Well, I guess we could have also had this conversation as we were.
Yeah.
Before this 10, like. So I've got these bombs. We can blow up this rocket ship. If we do that, the palace is going to be pissed at us. So the question is, which super spy agency do we want to get behind the most? The palace or Blackstone Park? Either one of them is not necessarily our friends, but I honestly think that this rocket cannot do any good, and I have no particular desire to ever see it launch. And even though Eves is our friend, or Eves our contact, I think the palace is just another another arm of the Imperium. So I'm willing to go blow it up, but I'm not going to do it behind your backs. If you don't want me to do it, then.
No, agreed. I think we should, but we need to get everybody out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Cross is then going to kind of help evacuate people.
Okay, great. Cool. All right. I guess so. Yeah, I guess let's do some roles. Basically, I mean, I feel like Cross can be whatever action you want to help people evacuate. That makes sense to me. You can think about that. And I guess for Kitty and Hollis, you two kind of need to get places. So it feels like there's some action to sort of get into position. For Hollis, presumably climbing the scaffolding and getting up to the rocket. And for Kitty, getting across to the pilot's quarters without being noticed. Does that feel right?
Yes.
Yeah, that feels right. I feel like we're in a decent position to do it, only because of the alarm that like we're probably not going to have a ton of eyes on us. But yeah, I do think that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. So I think this is kind of risky standard across the board for all of you. Like, you're all going to do the thing you want to do. It is risky, just the nature of the situation and the people who are around, but it's not desperate, right? Yeah. It doesn't feel controlled. I think controlled is probably a bit much. I kind of just want to get all three roles separately, and then we'll just kind of figure out what position people end up in and what happens. So if you each want to think about what action you want to take as you get to the end of the travelator and run to do the thing you're doing?
Yeah.
How about Hollis? What action is Hollis taking?
I'm going to take Prowl. I think it's just a matter of like physical athleticism, climbing up there and getting in place. Kitty, I have a devil's bargain that I think actually would work for you, not for me, which is that I could yell out at some point, Bowman, and distract your dad, which I think would be bad for me because I'd have to have the conversation with your dad, but be good for you because you would hopefully be able to avoid him.
I can handle Bowman.
Yeah, but you're the only one who doesn't know him.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Cross is going to kill your dad.
Character thing. I would like one of the two characters that know him to have a chance.
Oh, okay.
This is not in character. That makes a ton of sense. Out of character, I feel like it would be cool if one of the two of us that know him.
Okay, it just seems like you're trying to do two things, which is one, help people evacuate, and two, plant the bomb. So do you want me to plant the bomb?
No, I was offering that as devil's bargain to help Kitty sneak by without being noticed.
Okay.
You do not have to take that. I certainly don't need to do that. I'm going to prowl to sneak to get the bomb onto the ship. That's my action. I'll go ahead and roll it now.
Yeah, go for it.
Right.
Do you have a devil's bargain for yourself? Does anyone have a devil's bargain for Hollis? Or are you going to push yourself?
Oh, I'm so bad on stress right now. This is maybe not the most exciting devil's bargain, but I have climbing gear as an option, and I'm happy to sort of exhaust that to be like, yep, I'm not going to retrieve it. I'm not taking the time. I'm using all the gear to climb up to the outside of the ship and spending it, and going to lose it, so I won't have the rest of the score.
I like that.
Okay, cool.
Yep, mark that off. So you're at 3 out of 5 load, I think, because you've got that special ability.
Tools.
Yeah.
I've used Renji tools and climbing gear, go-go pills, and the time doing gear both 0 load. So
cool. Yep, love it. All right, Prowl. Taking the devil's bargain doesn't sound like anyone's helping, so just one bonus die. Go for it.
Yeah.
Risky standard.
Okay, got a 5.
Make success. Nice. All right. Let's cut back to Hollis in a second. I do want to get these other rolls on first. Cross, what are you doing?
I was going to go try to get Bowman out.
You want to help Bowman out first?
Well, I didn't want Kitty's dad to die. That seemed like that might stress her out. So we're going
a little bit
to encourage them to evacuate.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I will say that group is probably the hardest to make evacuate. It's Strathmill, Moorcroft, and Bowman, compared to all the other sort of faceless scientists. And but that's fine. You can go straight to them if you want. I guess I'm just flagging that there's possibility of sort of becoming entangled with this particular group.
Okay. I have a special ability that I plan to use.
Nice. Okay, great. What action are you rolling?
I am going to roll Hound's Instincts.
Oh, fun. That's great.
Someone stop and listen to me for a few minutes, no matter how unlikely it is.
I love that. Awesome. All right, take 2 stress. So that's going to happen. So I think this is actually like risky. Great. And you get the 1 bonus die from the push, assuming you want that. Again, I don't think anyone can help. What does this look like? What are you doing exactly?
I think it's just pretty standard of trying to just like be a regular person. Just be like, right this way. If you can go this way, we have an expedited exit for you, sir.
Fun.
Because you're special.
Okay.
So I think it's this way. I don't think I can do consort because I'm not buddying up to him.
Yes. Okay. Yep. That makes perfect sense. Yep. So sway with 1 bonus die. Risky. Great.
Cool. Let's see how it goes. Hey,
more of his successes. Yay.
So the thing I want here is you are basically ushering people to the travelators. There's ones going both directions, right? That's the main way in and out of this place.
Mhm.
Scientists are rushing to the sort of exit travelator already. And you walk up confidently and say that. And Moorcroft, who's like a visitor here in Strathmill, they're immediately like, oh, of course, thank you. And they stride off and walk onto the travelator, and they're gone. They disappear. And in fact, seeing these two leave, many of the scientists leave as well. So I think at this point, in terms of like civilian casualties, most of the people are leaving the room or will leave the room in the next like minute or however long this time span takes. The partial success here, I think, is that Bowman has other things on his mind. I mean, I don't want you to not have the thing you want, but I do kind of want Bowman to like the reduced effect here is that Bowman chooses not to get on the travelator and pauses to look back.
Cool. But like most everyone else is. So that's...
Everyone else is gone. It's just Bowman here now, the pilots, and Hollis.
Great.
Yeah, that's good. That's still a good. That's still reduced effect is still a good success in that case. Because you were at risky, great. So you effectively just got risky. You just got standard. You know.
Yeah, and I think so. You get most of the people out, and that this is going to sort of be ongoing as these other two do. You know, obviously this is all concurrent. So that is going on. And Kitty, how are you getting over to the pilot quarters?
I don't think I'm sneaking because I'm full suit. I think she's either like consorting or swaying, just something that's sort of like deceptive and like being, just I don't want to say it's sway, but like it might be sway, or consort, where she's just like going through and like using the suit as a way just to get through the crowd to get to the rest of the books.
Yeah, so you're basically like friendlying your way over there. Is that kind of the
Yeah.
I mean, consort is to gain access to resources, information, people, or places. And you're kind of, while normally you would consort with people from your heritage or background, I think you're using the suit as a stand-in for that. Like that, you pretend like you're from the same background as all these folks because you're.
Yeah, I'm totally a pilot, just like you. I totally know what the cockpit is.
Yeah.
That's a big word for Elmo. Like,
so typically this is just to get to the pilots, not to actually convince them yet.
It's just to get to them. So like, I think she's like, I know where to go. I know what we're doing. Like, she can walk the walk, I guess, in a way. You know.
Perfect. I love it. Why don't you do that roll again? Risky standard. You could push yourself again. I don't think anyone could help.
Push yourself
or a devil's bargain.
Yeah. I think since Bowman hasn't left, my devil's bargain is back on the table if you want it, Kitty.
That I run into my dad?
No, I could call your dad and
get his attention.
Get his attention. It obviously means I'm dealing with your dad, but I don't know. One of us should. So
I mean, it kind of lines up fictionally because perhaps that's the reason he didn't leave with the others.
He sees me or sees him?
Or because Hollis calls out. If you take the Hollis calls out, and so he's
all right.
If you don't want his attention drawn, I definitely don't need to do it. It's just if we want to have the showdown with him.
You said it. You brought your fruition, so might as well allow you to have it. Like you can do it. Okay, so bonus dice 1 for that.
All right.
Okay. Boo.
Nice.
Cool. Partial success. So, and you got a partial success before to Hollis, which we didn't. So a few things happen at once. One is the devil's bargain. So you are climbing the scaffolding, climbing the gantries. You get kind of halfway up the rocket. I mean, you are like a mechanic, so you know where to place these explosives to maximum effect, right? At what point do you shout out? Is this as you're climbing, or once you're in position to where you want to?
Climbing, and I think I see that Bowman has not been, has not left, is sticking around, and as I see him look over towards Kitty, because it's the devil's bargain was to give Kitty cover, so it's as I see him look over to her, as I see him look over to her, that's when I, in this shot, when the camera cuts over, I'm not wearing the helmet. So my face is visible, and I yell out, "Bowman!"
And he's about to step on the travelator. Head snaps up. Spies you instantly. He's the kind of person who never forgets a face, so he instantly shouts back, "Private Hollis, what in the blazes?" and turns around and starts striding back towards the rocket, and he's shouting at you.
Yeah.
He says, "I don't know what you're up to, but you always were defective, and I don't mean your legs." And he's marching towards the rocket to deal with you in some way.
I'm not letting you send another group of people to their death, Bowman, as you're so apt to do.
And you also got
Kitty hearing it.
You also got a partial success, which is as you're doing all this shouting. You got the duffel bag next to you. You're in place to place the explosives. You hear someone clear their throat behind you, and between you and the way back down the gantry is a woman in a nicely tailored grey suit with short blonde hair who you recognize immediately as Bane, the palace spy.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, she smiles and says, "You really should keep it down, Hollis. You're making quite the racket. Now, I have to ask, what are you doing with all those explosives?"
What? Don't I just keep running into you in the most curious of places, Bane?
Just keeping an eye on things.
What am I doing with these explosives is a really good question. Maybe I'm planting them for Blackthorn Park to destroy this ship, and maybe I'm handing them over to the palace as a sign of goodwill while we get information about. Maybe I'm just using them as a distraction to get information about the Blue Raker 5. I think that all depends on how many guns you have. How many guns you have hidden on your person.
She shakes her head and says, "In bed with Blackthorn Park? I knew you were naive fools, but I didn't take you for traitors. Look, Hollis, we're paying for this job, and this is an order. Take the pilots, but leave the rocket alone." And she raises the gun and points it at you. And let's leave you there as Kitty also got a partial success. So there was mixed success, rather. You make it over to the pilots. Obviously, they heard the alarm. They're gathering their things. They're about to leave anyway. They leave you at the door. They meet you at the door as they're exiting their quarters. There are 4 of them. There's Brackley, who we've already met. This guy with the headband. There's their chief officer, who's called Slade, who looks like this. He's got like a cool...
All these artists, these photos, these stills are so good. I swear. God.
Their chief scientist officer is called Elkett. And then finally is a Taikarosi woman called Micah, who's, I think, like a former assassin. She's like their muscle, but she's got this like blue skin and blonde hair.
Nice.
Those earrings.
Oh my God.
So amazing.
This is from some weird fashion runway show where they all have blue skin. So those 4 people are at the door. Obviously, some kind of role will be required to convince them to come with you. But the consequence of the role is that you were able to make it to them successfully. But as Major Bowman is striding towards Hollis, he immediately spots the test pilots coming out and pivots, and now he's walking towards you. And I think at this point he recognizes you. And
oh no! Okay, all right. He sees us both. Great.
He starts shouting, or rather, it's sort of a questioning shout. Kitty?
I think he calls her Katerina.
Yeah, I forgot what your actual name is. Yes, Katerina. So that's kind of the situation. Hollis is up on the scaffolding with Bane, with the explosives, with the gun pointed at him. Kitty is at the pilots, ready to convince them of whatever, but Bowman is moving to intercept. Cross, maybe it's a good time for you to... What are you up to?
I mean, I feel like I should stop Bowman and continue to try to get him out. And I'm not sure what would be the best way to do that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty committed. I mean, I think in terms of like convincing him, that would be tricky at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Violence may be an option.
Yeah, violence is definitely an option.
I said violence may be an option.
Maybe. Yeah, let's try that. Can I crack him on the back of the head as
fun.
he turns away from me, and then drag him out?
For sure. What action are you rolling?
I'll find a dolly and I'll wheel him out.
You can just put him on a little travelator. It'll just carry it. It'll just
Exactly.
It'll just roll him out.
Just lay him out on it and be free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he gets to the end, it might be uncomfortable, but someone can pull him off of it.
Sure.
What action are you rolling?
I guess that would be skirmish.
For sure.
I'm going to use the back of my fine snub-nosed hand cannon.
Yeah. Now he is very high tier, so I think by default this is going to be risky. You're like, it's a sort of a sneak attack. He's unawares of you, but it is going to be no effect by default just because of tier difference. So you could trade position for effect if you want to make it desperate limited, and you could push for more effect, or I don't know if you have any abilities that help.
That. Can do desperate limited.
Cool, desperate limited. And do you want to push for desperate standard, or?
Yeah, I'll push.
Okay, great. So that is 2 stress. If either of the others can help, feel free, but I'm not sure you're in a position to exactly. You're kind of dealing with other stuff, but
I would if I could.
I mean, I guess Kitty could, like, you could obviously easily distract your dad for a moment if you want to.
Yeah, you are kind of serving as the distraction here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're hitting him in the head. Okay.
Because he's turned away from me and I'm kind of panicking, so I just take my pistol and with the back of it.
Yeah, she's just pistol whipping your dad. It's just normal stuff.
Just a love tap. It's fine.
I'm just helping him out.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling a gun on your dad.
Oh, you are.
Specifically, this is different.
It's the safety end of the gun. Yeah, is Kitty helping? Do you have the stress?
Yeah.
Not really?
Oh.
Okay.
Is it just one?
Right. Yep, just one.
Okay.
Right.
I got it.
All right, cool.
Fingers crossed.
So 1 bonus die.
Hey, I got a 5.
Hey, nice.
Awesome. So this works. The thing that happens here, you should mark 1 XP for the desperate.
Yep.
Desperate action. You crack him across the head. He's a big, strong military man, and he kind of staggers to 1 knee, but he doesn't immediately, like, it's going to take a couple of hits to take him down, like when they try and tranquilize a big bear or something. The consequence here, he staggers to the control panel and hits a big red button, which starts the launch sequence.
Oh.
And as soon as you crack him on the head, he's like, as he sees everything that's going on, he says through gritted teeth, "You can't stop this. It must not." And before you knock him unconscious, he staggers to the control panel and hits the launch button.
Ooh, can I resist that?
Sure. What are you resisting with?
I think you should leave it. If we're gonna
it'll be a countdown. Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it.
I mean, if you don't want it to happen, but like it justifies us blowing up the ship quite well if it's gonna launch.
Okay, that's fine.
That's true. It's not bad cover.
We can blame it on the launch.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Suddenly on the wall, a huge sign you didn't notice before starts ticking down. You know the kind of timers that count down every millisecond, so it's quite stressful because it's constantly.
Oh God!
Like, yeah.
Oh God!
I don't want to be too specific how much time it is, but let's say however much time is dramatically appropriate. I'll put a 4 o'clock on the table, and I'll just tick it once. And you all hear like the klaxon beep and a voiceover, saying 30 seconds to ignition or whatever.
But I can still drag him into the.
Oh yeah, you got a success. Absolutely, you can just chuck him on the travelator at this point if you want.
I think when she sees that her dad getting hit, she's just like, "Oh my God, okay,
He's fine."
Okay.
Yeah, let's stay with Kitty. What are you? I mean, you're with these pilots. What's your Once you
Yeah.
go next
And like, yeah, she's like sees that, she's rattled, and she like turns to them, and like her visor's flipped up, and she's like, "Y'all need to go right now. This place is about to blow. It's not good." And do you know what happens to the pirates? Did they tell you? Like,
Brackley sort of shrugs and says, "We get paid and go free."
You wish. No, they are gonna turn you into holes.
I feel like I want an action roll here just to see if they believe you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Brackley knows. Brackley,
Yeah, Brackley is convinced, but it's more the other three, I think.
Yeah.
And the stakes here are less. I mean, obviously they want to evacuate anyway because the launch is about to go off, and the other alarm has been going off, and everyone else is evacuating. So obviously they're not just going to stick around. But I think the stakes are. Sorry, my dog.
Whether or not they come back.
And also how long this takes, and are they going to try something else foolish? Like, are they going to run to the rocket since it's about to take off anyway, or
we're going to the moon now.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of what Bowman was angling for. So
yeah.
Do this
risky?
one way or the other.
I was thinking sway. If
I think with the countdown, it's desperate.
Okay, that's valid. Sway?
Yeah, sway. Desperate, standard.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna deadlock right now.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna deadlock flamboyant.
Yeah.
So you're gonna turn the key.
Mhm.
Cool.
I'm gonna
so
lean
when you
harder
turn the
into
key,
that.
you clear all your stress.
Yeah, they do.
Hit the little explosion next to flamboyant and think about what it turns into.
Something more flamboyant. Yes.
Yeah. Self-obsessed was the suggestion, but over the top or
exaggerant,
unbearable, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yeah.
I do like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't have to decide right now.
No, you don't have to decide right now.
It's for right now. It's ridiculous. We'll figure out later, like if I'll keep it or not.
But what does this moment look like? I
think she's like really convincing. She's like, like arm gestures of things blowing up, and like no joke, a hole, like your soul being ripped out of your body.
There's holes like around, so like you can like point to, like there's like
one of these guys.
Yeah, the machines to do it are right there, literally.
Yeah,
like they've been there this whole time.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just like dust off the sign that says "hole making machine." Like
blood tubes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the display of completely over the top, flamboyant, convincing. They are absolutely convinced.
Being extremely dramatic.
Yeah, being extremely dramatic. It works perfectly. Alcott sort of takes the lead and is the first to speak and says, "It's no time to thank you, but yeah, let's go." And they start running for the travelator exit. Do you go with them or do you hang around?
I wait. I hang at the I wait. I like start looking for okay, they're done. Where's Hollis? Where's Cross?
Good question. While this is going on, what is Hollis doing vis-a-vis Bane?
All right, so I think Bane, she was climbing up this rope ladder that I had like fast because I was using my climbing gear. So if she's right behind me, she's climbing up my climbing gear, right? And so I think I was about to like try and unhook it to drop her when Bowman hits the button and the countdown starts. And so I'm reaching down to like grab it, and then I look at her and I'm like, I think this changes things. Do you still want this rocket in place if it's going to go off with you and I on it? As like, I'm sure thrusters are already starting to like heat up. And,
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
pre-launch things are starting to happen.
Yeah. Cool. Is this an action? What are you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I want to convince her that blowing this up is the only choice we have. Otherwise, it's gonna launch right now, with or without us on it. Launch is bad. Like they don't want it to launch before they're ready for it,
Hmm.
and it's launching right now. So blowing it up is the only choice.
Right, cool. What action?
I feel like it's command. Just
Yep.
saying, like, if we don't do this, we're like, if I don't just stop it now, it's gonna launch, and we're gonna die.
All right. Yes, love that. Command. This is going to be desperate standard. I think you have enough leverage that it is standard effect, but it is desperate.
Yeah.
Do you want to push yourself?
I think so. It sucks because I'm very low on stress, but it's important to me to I'm gonna push myself.
All right.
If anyone thinks of a way to help, I'm open to it, but I don't know. Like, it's so loud, and I don't know. I don't know if there's a good way to help right now. Desperate standard. Yeah, and you can either push or Devil's Bargain. So I think, I think that's it. Desperate standard, 1 bonus die. Okay,
nice.
Well, I got a success. Just not a
great. Yeah, you make your pitch, and you see she usually has like a confident smile, but you see that drop, and she says, "Damn it, Hollis, I hate it when you're right," and starts climbing to help you with the bomb. It was a partial success. So 2 things happen. One is on a desperate roll, the countdown ticks up 3 times, and the rocket is going to go off with you on it. Obviously, you can resist that. The other thing that happens is blast doors shut on the 3 adjacent rooms, the Lusk tubes, the mission control, and the pilot quarters, and the travelator, shutting you all in here. So those are the 2 consequences. I mean, first of all, do you want to resist the countdown going off, which I guess is working faster?
Yeah, I think it's either that or we're blowing this up mid-air.
Or maybe like, we've seen you kind of wreck and wrench devices before. Do you kind of monkey with it just enough to like delay the countdown a little bit? Pull some wires out.
Delay the countdown from down here. It doesn't feel right to me.
So you want to blow this? You want to be hanging off this thing and blow it up in midair?
I think I could,
You do have the time, Dookie.
I'm at that area. I could help by like trying to delay on our end.
I'm right by the
controls. Yeah.
The controls and the lift. I can resist any of these.
Yeah. What are interesting ones for you all to resist? Because I'm open to trying to blow this thing up mid-flight. Like, that sounds like the most cool action adventure stupid choice in the world to make. So I'm open for doing that, but I do think keeping the doors from shutting is really important. And if you want to buy us a little more time, I don't think that's a bad idea.
I also don't want you blowing up on the ship. That just is not fun for us.
It's the last session, maybe ? Last session. I'm okay with. Yeah.
And he does have the time dookie, which is kind of a get out of jail free.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that's right.
Time doohickey. So
time doohickey.
So I feel like you definitely need to stop the blast doors from shutting, or jump through them, and because you've got everyone else out, jump through them and I'll get out myself. Like, don't do it, but get out of them. But either way, I think like you don't want to be trapped at the bottom when this thing launches.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's start with that. What do you want to resist that, or what do you want to do?
I can resist it by like blocking the door real quick. Like, nice. I see it goes to close and I, shut a box or a wrench or something. And then Kitty and I can get out.
Yeah, I love that. Prowess, just for quick.
I think prowess because it's speed.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Hit that prowess. 0 bonus die.
How stable are the hulls that are down here?
Stable in what sense?
I just wonder if they can be pushed over. If that if Cross could just like push one of them
Well,
over.
nothing's happened to them yet, so they're still. I mean, I think some of them exited.
Okay. Never mind.
Sorry,
Yeah,
did you
they're
say?
not.
I don't have a bonus die on this,
No,
correct?
no bonus dice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna roll it.
Hey, look at that! Zero stress. Nice.
No stress. Just roll sixes.
Super cool.
Everything is cool.
Cool. So do you two? Yeah, you throw the wrench in the way, stop the blast doors closing for just a few moments. Do the two of you just? I mean, at this point, that timer is at the end of the cycle, and
is there a way like I could slow that down, like throwing water into the mechanics or something? I don't know, like
pull the power cord.
Yeah, kick the power cord off, or like yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Just so
give Hollis one tick.
Give me one tick to try and.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be an insight resist. I think you have to know where to throw the water or what
I don't have any more mojo. Oh no, this would have been great. Okay, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, only if you want to, Mo. If you don't want to,
no, I want to.
Okay,
I mean, this is the end, and you're plenty of stress. So if you want to go for it,
yeah, just go for it.
Yeah. Hey, look at that, one stress, nice. So is this a glass of water on the control panel? Or is that the?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the timer just like glitches for a few moments. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, but that's right, actually. That's good. And then starts counting down again. But you have bought Hollis like 10 seconds or something.
I love the idea that like you do it and the timer stops and we're like, yay! And then it starts back up again. We're like shit. I think it's a great moment though of everybody being like, Kitty, you like cross jam the door and Kitty did the thing and we're like, you saved us. And then it's still going. All right.
So the others are out on the travelator and they're behind the other side of the blast door. So I think at this point they're reasonably safe. So Hollis, you've got Bane helping you, which I think is worth a bonus die. Not that it usually works that way, but I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But what are you doing?
I mean, I've got this thing of explosives. The place that I was prowling to was the if I understood, if the Blue Raker is built in any way like experimental autopods are built, where which is probably not true, but like there's got to be a power source attached to the thrusters, and so my goal was to get basically like up under the thrusters where it's going to be the most explosive anyway, and plant this bomb that I'm sure has a very short timer. Open up the briefcase and I want to wreck the Blue Raker, the Blue Raker 5.
I love that. So you're right up under the rocket, like as you say, because it's about to launch, like all the smoke is starting to billow out, and
yeah, exactly,
incredibly hot.
It's going to get very, very hot here. Yeah, I think just for effect, I think the I've ripped like the boots or whatever off the fake boots I had wrapped around the blades, and my blades are on the thrusters, so that even though it's getting really hot, I can still step on it because there's not a lot of heat transference. I mean, eventually the heat transfer will go through, but I think I have a few moments where I'm literally standing on something that would burn anyone else's feet. But it doesn't.
That's great.
It isn't unbearably painful yet.
And Bane is helping you, despite. I mean, this seems like a suicide mission at this point because the rocket is about to. Like either the explosion's going to go off. I mean, at this point, the blast doors have closed. Like your options are pretty limited. But you convinced her.
Yeah. Well, again, there is the option of we don't ignite it until it's jumped up and then we're out in the air. I don't know how we get away from it. But last time she had that little portal doing.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Maybe she has a little. Maybe
a
little.
Yeah, she's not really the kind of person who would just throw her life away. But that is a very tense situation.
Yeah.
As you're about to do the damn thing, she meets your eye and gives you a nod and says, "For the Emperor," which I realize is not something Hollis would.
Yeah, Hollis is like, "Fuck that guy for the end of all wars." And but in this moment, where our goals are aligned.
What action are you rolling?
I think I mean, tell me. I feel like wreck is probably the the right role. Like I want to say wrench, but I'm not re-engineering it. I'm blowing it the hell up. I think it's rack. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Wreck, I think this is desperate for obvious reasons. I think it's great effect because you're using Blackthorn Park explosives. And you got into position, which is kind of like a setup action that increases your effect as well. So desperate, great. So XP for that.
Love it. I would love a Devil's Bargain if you have one. I feel like I would be willing to make some sort of commitment to the palace. Like if we get through this,
yeah, like you owe them one or something.
I owe them, or like I'll be like, even though I fucking hate the Emperor, you know, like even though we don't necessarily agree, like you're saving me in this moment. So like, like I owe you one or something like that. I don't know if that would count as a.
Yeah, no, I like that.
But maybe that's why Bane is willing to be as helpful as she is if I promise some allegiance.
Yep.
Great.
So 1 bonus die from that, 1 from Bane, so that's 2 bonus die.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Desperate. Great. Bonus. Oh god. Okay,
could be worse.
There's a 5 in that.
There's a 5 in that at the very end of all those ones.
Yeah, is it ones across the board? Is it all 3 runs and then no. It is 2. Okay.
Yeah, what was your ideal version of this again? You were hoping to sort of roll away as it blasts off, or you're going to hold on and then jump away once?
So tell me how, in saying this is my ideal vision is we plant it, the rocket starts taking off. Just as it sort of clears the entrance, we leap possibly to our deaths. But we leap just as it sort of like breach the surface. We leap away and it blows up. Where we leap to, I don't know. Maybe she has a portal zappery thing that can get us get us safety. But that's the only way that I could sort of conceive of getting out of here and not being burnt.
You should
the
use
thing
the
that happens
device and fall through the portal to 5 minutes ago.
Or you could also go forwards to after the explosion is another option.
True. Those are both ideas that I want to use based on.
Well, have a think about that because we haven't got to the consequence yet, which is you priming the bomb and setting it off. Bane, this is a very smooth rocket, not many handholds. Bane has one of those handholds. She offers a hand to you to help you up after you prime the rocket and kind of hoist you up out of the blast zone.
Yeah.
The timer is going off on your explosives down below. The rocket starts to take off. The whole chamber is thrumming, smoke everywhere. You can barely see. The rocket starts to launch up through the chamber. The aperture at the top opens up and you see the bright blue sky, unreal blue above. And Bane looks down at you and smiles sadly and says, it's just business, Hollis, no hard feelings. And lets go of your hand and kicks you away as she completes the plan and takes off with the rocket. And you are plunging back down to where the explosion is about to happen.
Love it. Love it. So
and I think there's definitely some harm here. I think level 3 harm. I mean, you've already taken burnt and zapped, but I feel like it's a similar sort of.
Yeah. Exploded.
Exploded is good. Yep.
Yeah.
So this isn't from the explosion, just from falling into the blast zone, the launch zone.
Right. Like I'm still going to take more harm as the.
The more harm from the explosion, but this is
Do you
just.
have any space for armor or resistance or
Yeah, you can resist it. You're gonna deadlock, but.
Yeah. Well, no, I have military discipline. Twice per scene, you may use your training to eliminate harm from an attack in combat. I don't know if this is.
Yeah, it's a fight basically. Yeah.
It turned into a fight at the last moment. So I absolutely can do that, but I'm not as concerned about the harm as I am about the fictional position of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It seems to me like she kicks me out of the thing. She kicks me out of the portal, and so it's gonna fly up and then explode with her on it. Like, does she have? Is that? Am I correct? Is the explosion? Is the rocket still going to be destroyed?
The rocket is still going to be destroyed. Yeah. I mean, her plan is basically your plan, which is once the rocket clears the launch bay, she's going to jump free, and you've already seen her use those like portal cufflinks, and she's just going to zip away, just like she did last time.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. So I feel like.
So take the level 3 harm really burnt.
Really burnt. I'm going to mark military. Whoops. I'm going to mark my training
twice. Right, so it's level 1 harm singed.
Take that level 1 harm singed. Yeah. And I think the reason why I'm only singed and not really burnt is as I'm falling. She steps away like ha ha ha. You know, I've sorry, no hard feelings. And she gets inside the chamber where, you know, there's some relative safety. And at the last minute, I catch the end of the climbing gear that's like hanging.
Oh, that's fun.
Hanging on the rocket. So instead of like, I'm like just barely above the burners. I'm just barely above the burners as they're all going off, and I'm still singed, but not getting burnt to crisp in there.
Yeah, love that. And so what is your plan? I mean, we know how Bane is trying to escape all this. What's your plan to...
I mean, I feel like at this point I have to use the doohickey. You go.
How are you using it?
Yeah. I know the explosion is going to take place in... I know the explosion is going to take place in, you know, a few seconds. And this can go some number of minutes. So my thought is what you said, just jump forward in time to after the explosion. And then I just fall down on the debris below.
So after the rocket is cleared, the like launch, is that right? So like above ground sort of thing? Like,
yeah.
But just before it explodes?
Yeah, exactly. I think I wait until I'm physically in the position of being outside the aperture. And then I jump to... 5 minutes in the future.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. So we see the big blue raker. Sorry, you go.
Are you not concerned about jumping into a bunch of burning rubble?
That's a good point.
As the exploding rocket falls back down on top of you?
You could jump forward like 20 minutes.
I think that would take less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Like my plan is timing it such that it's going to explode. The explosion will have been done and it'll have collapsed. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe this is an action roll to find out if I'm right or not.
I think you're using the doohickey. I'm kind of fine at this point with just saying it works.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a way you could think of that I could go into the past to because the other possibility is like present me could go into the past when you were running out and run out with you.
Yeah. Or earlier, you could go back to 15 minutes ago and go get out with everybody else.
Yeah.
And not interact with any of us, so you don't, you know,
cause a paradox. Yeah.
Cause a paradox and just run out with the crowd.
Do you want to do that? That's kind of fun.
I think that's fun. Yeah. I think I think your point makes a lot of sense that like being anywhere near the explosion, even after the explosion, is still pretty.
I think the possibility of a time paradox is kind of fun. So we get the shot of Hollis like sneaking in the background, and we see the same actors playing out the scene from a different angle.
We watched it again and was like, "Oh my god, he was right there!"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Hollis jumps on that travelator. You know, you activate the doohickey. There's this rippling psychedelic portal. You jump through. 15 minutes earlier, jump on the travelator behind some scientists, and you travelate out of there.
Yeah.
Back in the present, no one's around to see it, but the blue raker, which is top secret, so no one knows about it. So all, you know, this is daytime because it has to go into the blue. So it's bright sunlight. This aperture opens up. This huge gleaming rocket ship starts launching into the sky. Everybody's looking, and then there's just a massive explosion, like an earthquake. The other two are down back in the Ministry of Discovery. So you know, it's just a big shaking boom as like dust shakes from the ceiling, but you're behind the blast door, so you're all right. And I think in all the confusion, you can just kind of, I don't think we need any rolls to like escape. Like there's enough. There was your fake alarms, the blue raker going off. I think you can just get out of there. I will say, as you get into the elevator to go up from the classified floor back to the regular floor. You get in there, and Brainwave 60 is just there on wheels.
He's on wheels.
Here's the thing, though. We put a tracker in him.
That's true.
So if we steal him, we don't get the money because we have to take the tracker out.
I mean, you still planted the tracker. You
know where it is.
Still did the thing that they asked for.
Yeah, but we can't bring him home because they'll know. I'm just saying.
I think Kitty looks at to Brainwave and she's like, "Hey, we put something in you. Do you mind if I just get it out real quick?"
Certainly.
And she like opens it up and like finds where the tracker is and just like tosses it off.
Oh no! Okay. All right.
And you take Brainwave 60, and waiting out the front is the van, and behind the wheel of the van is Zam, the street kid. Cross's contact, who hotwired your van and who eavesdropped on all your conversations. And they say, I assume you pile into the van.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a moment of like, oh no, like Hollis died? He went up, like, because the last thing you saw was he went up in the ship.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I think as we're running, I'm like, I hear like the explosion, like as we're in the track elevator. I'm like, oh no, we gotta go back. We gotta get Hollis, like, and like Kitty's turn, like, saying all this, but like knows if she tries to go back, so it's like no cause because she's not fit for to go.
Yeah, Cross is like pushing you and pushing.
Pushing
the computer is like, no, we have to go. We have to go. Hollis made a choice.
He didn't have to make. I think she's upset, mad, sad, and just like frustrated that that she assumed that they lost Hollis. I love how Cross is like the gotta keep the emotions in check. Can't do anything.
Feelings later.
It's like a huge explosion back there. There's blast doors. It's not like you can go back, right? Yeah. So I think like right as you guys are getting into the van, and like you're about to like slide the like you've rolled like Brainwave 60 into it or like in the side, and you're about to slide the sliding door. Hollis jumps in, and pulls off the helmet, and it's like, we made it. And then I don't know if there's, and I hold up the like burnt out now thing. I say, do Hickey.
Do Hickey.
And then Zam floors it.
Yeah.
And Zam definitely joins in and says, "Hey, we did it.
What are you doing here? Go home."
I came to rescue you. Cheers, Crossy. By cut, I want you to buy me a pack of smokes and some beers from the store. But they won't serve me anymore. Also, I got a name for our outfit. It's hang on, I had it. Global Resistance, Opposing Oppression, and Violent Engagement. That's GROOVE, Groove. What do you think?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, hey, how long really it is, though.
That's much better, yeah.
Global Resistance. You're going to have to give it to me again, kid.
Global Resistance, Opposing Oppression, and Violent Engagement.
That's a pretty good one.
That's pretty good.
Cross is admitting it because she doesn't like this kid.
Awesome. Now, we don't have long before we wrap, and there were a couple of things, so I just want to fast forward through like Fallout and stuff, Aftermath and whatnot. You do get, I think, the Brainwave 60 thing. I mean, you did it even though you kind of undid it, so I think we'll just count that. So it is a 9-stack payout.
Nice.
Woo. So just to clarify about that, though, the Palace is still paying us because they know from Bane telling them that this was the only way to stop the launch at this point.
True, and then I guess Blackthorn Park will pay you as well. All right, fair enough.
I'm just, you said
go on.
You're not going to get paid by both unless you figure out a way. And I'm like,
but what if we did?
I feel like your dad, Major Bowmore sort of gave us the way by launching it. Like,
yeah. So that is going to be 1 stack, I assume, to the Scorpion Syndicate. Since you might as well pay them off, right?
To pay them?
We don't have to, but you are getting 17 stacks. So
we should pay them. We're not going to have any place to.
I'm just mad that they stick their tiger on me still.
And then I guess 5 stacks each and 2 in the crew.
Money, please.
Yeah.
We can only hold 4, so we might need to do 4 each and 4
put in the bank or something. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because if we're getting 17, you said -1.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's ridiculous. But we did blow up the Blue Raker.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Well, I already have stacks, so I guess.
Yeah,
you can put it in the bank if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put them in the bank, or we're gonna have to buy a vault.
Yeah. The other thing I want to cover was the secondary score, because while all this was going on, Kayla and Jag were messing with the cops in Night Market. Your 2 cohorts. So I want to know how that went, because this is quite a high scope score for them as well. So there's a possibility that they die doing this. It's pretty dangerous.
Oh, no.
So you're going to roll the cohort's quality to determine how it went. They are quality 1. So someone roll just 1d6.
I feel like I've been rolling terrible all night.
Should I do it then?
I think you should do it, Mo.
Okay, so I just type in 1d6, or do I roll it like?
You can do a fortune roll that's 1d6, or you can do /R space 1d6.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to do a fortune roll from our crew.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yep.
All right, number of dice 1.
1.
No notes.
Yay!
Hey, look at that.
A good time to see a 6.
So on a 6, the score is successful and the cohort returns unharmed. You do take 2 heat.
We get paid for that too.
Yeah, again, I kind of want to fast forward a bit, but that's another 8 stacks. So,
oh my god!
At the bank.
Mark 2 more each plus 2 more in. I mean, you're kind of out of.
We definitely do not have room for.
You're just gonna have to put in the bank. I think.
Stacks. But perhaps we will get a crew advancement and we can buy a vault to put them all in, or we'll put them in.
Yes, we can do this bookkeeping properly later, but you're also going to get a bunch of rep, because you get rep from both scores. I mean, Kayla and Jag just nailed this one. They don't even take any harm. They completely mess with the blue coats. They take the heat off what the Burn Corps were doing in Char Hollow, so everyone wins.
Nice.
In terms of faction status, I definitely think you're down with the blue coats. You're up with the Burn Corps. I'm not quite sure about the Palace and Blackthorn Park. That seems complicated because you kind of playing both sides. I suspect kind of up with Blackthorn Park and maybe neutral with the Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our Blackthorn Park was -1, so I'll take it.
I feel like that goes to 0.
Yeah, and Palace stays at -1.
That feels about right to me. I think
feels right.
Mm-hmm. And again, I think after all that heat, you would definitely go up to Wanted level 2. And we kind of skipped it last time, but each time, much like in Deep Cuts, each time you take a Wanted level, it triggers a response. So last time we should have done an interrogation, but I skipped it for time. But this time they are going to come to arrest someone, which I think makes sense after everything that's happened. So I kind of wanted, just as a sort of demonstration, to get like a prison roll before we close. So I guess the question is, there are other things you could do. You could evade arrest. You could try and frame someone, etc., etc. But I kind of want one of you just to go to prison for a bit.
Yeah.
So who takes the fall? And that could be out of character or in character decision. Maybe you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or maybe your character is like, I'm gonna step up and take the heat for this. I will say, when we're doing beginning questions, we specified that Kitty has the most to lose from going to prison.
I do.
Yeah,
so I feel like it's either definitely her or definitely not her.
Hollis would absolutely not let Kitty go.
Okay.
I think he honestly feels like he's only alive because of a miracle. He's sort of like, I've been in explosions before and they were horrible and awful, and I can't believe that I've made it out of as many as I've had. And I think Hollis would go. Sir. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Again, I'm going to run through this a little bit quickly, but what I would like to do is both a time skip and a prison roll. So you can play out prison score by score, and we check in with that character each downtime, and Sean would play someone else for a few scores until they're out of prison, because you were wanted level 2. So this would clear your wanted levels, and it would be a few months in prison, so like maybe 4 scores roughly.
Sure.
So you could do it that way. But instead, I think it's more interesting if we time skip ahead. So you've had these big explosive scores. Hollis goes to prison. We time skip. We cut back in. It's like spring, so we get like the blossoms on the trees. Hollis spent all winter, I think in Dosfall the months are a bit longer, all winter in prison. And so we'll do a time skip for the other two to see how it went for them. And we will do a prison roll for Hollis. But either way, I kind of like the shot of like Iron Hook, this big rusting slab of metal. The gates open. There are like these bare branch trees just with a few blossoms. So the time skip has happened. And then we'll find out what we see as Hollis steps out. So this is going to be a prison time skip roll.
Cool.
So we'll do the time skip for the others in a moment, but you're going to make a doing time roll. So you start with your worst attribute rating, insight, prowess, or resolve, because of how prison is it.
Yeah, my worst attribute rating is 2, I think. Let's see. Hollis. Yeah, my worst insight rating is 2.
All right, that's good.
My worst attribute rating is 2.
That's great. So you add your crew's tier, which is 0. You add +1 for advantages such as allies inside. So allies is like lowercase a. It could also be friends or associates. I feel like the Burn Corps have a presence inside Ironhook, so that would count.
Nice.
And I also think your entanglement with both Blackthorn Park and the Palace can help you here from a sort of the authorities' point of view.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I think 2 dice there. So that's 4 dice altogether. I don't think you have any particular enemies inside. Your enemies are more institutional, right? So it's not like the Ministry of Discovery have inmates in Ironhook, probably. So there's no one who's specifically going to mess with you there. So just make a 4D fortune roll. And this is going to be an assigned dice kind of thing. So you don't just want to roll high. You want as many high rolls as possible.
All right. All right. Well, I got a high roll.
Cool. So there are 3 categories and you're going to assign them each. So you've got 1 of each basically because, do you have the book open there, Sean? It's on.
Oh, yes, I do. What page are we looking for?
Page 23. Sorry, go back 1. Oh, no, there it is on the left. So there's physical toll, mental toll, and scheming. Physical toll is how much harm you take. Mental toll is how much sort of stress you take. And schemes are like, do you get a prison claim? Do you get in good with another faction? That kind of thing. And so you're going to assign a 6 to one, a 4 or 5, middling success to another, and a failure to the other. Does that make sense? So whether you want to start with the fail or the middling success. So for physical toll, it's basically, do you want to take level 2 harm, level 1 harm, or do you want to come out even stronger and put a dot in any prowess attribute? For mental toll, you could come out with a deadlock and 4 stress, or you could come out with just 4 stress. Or you could have worked through some issues in prison and come out with 1 deadlock turned back into a key.
Wow.
And for schemes, you either end up with -1 status with 1 faction on a bad result, or on a middling result, you get 1 prison claim and 1 +1 faction status. Or in a really good result, you get +3 rep, a prison claim, and a faction status.
I think I want to do.
Oh, and because we're doing a time skip, you should clear all your harm and stress. So this is coming. You're starting from 0.
I'm starting from 0. Okay. Yeah. That was what I was wondering because I have a lot of harm and stress.
Yeah. Clear all your harm and stress because we're skipping forward several months. So
all right. So we're going to clear my stress, which was a lot. And we're going to clear all this harm, which is a lot. So that's great. Just go spend time in Ironhook and you'll be fine.
It's like a vacation.
Yeah. I think I'm going to come out a little beat up. So I'm going to take level 2 harm, beat up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that while the Ministry of Discovery doesn't have people inside, the Bluecoats who don't like us very much definitely do. Mm-hmm. And a little prison violence has probably happened to Hollis along the way. And then the question is it I think I'm going to take the schemes of you gain the middling scheme of you gain 1 prison claim and +1 faction status with the faction that assisted you while you were serving time.
Who do you want the status with? I mean, you're already allies with the Burn Corps at this point.
We're already allies with the Burn Corps, yeah. So it could be another
Scorpion Syndicate, maybe you're -1 with them, or
yeah.
you...
Let's bump our Scorpion Syndicate up to 0 because they are our ward boss, and I imagine they could have done. They're drug traders. I'm sure they have activity going on in Ironhawk. So we'll mark that up +1. And then I think my mental is you've worked through some of your issues, and I think I'm going to get rid of my cold deadlock.
Fun.
And take it back to the original protective that I used to have before the war. So Hollis actually works through some shit, and I'm undeadlocking protective.
Love that for him. And I think we'll skip doing it for now, but you also get a prison claim, and that would help with future prison rolls. So like you can get a guard payoff, which would give you +1D to all prison rolls next time. Or you get hard case, which means you mark a turf box on your rep tracker. So you like build a reputation, or smuggling, which lets you carry +2 load in prison.
I think we'll do a guard payoff.
Guard payoff, that makes a lot of sense. Nice.
Yeah, that way next time we go back, it's better for us.
So Hollis emerges from the gates of Ironhook, bruised and battered, but perhaps with a certain clarity. I mean, I guess it's kind of a protectiveness, right? The coldness is gone from his eyes, perhaps.
Yeah, I think Hollis had given up kind of on helping me on. I think Hollis had sort of was just like, you can't save people, and realized like after a lot of time and reflection, like even if you can't save people, it doesn't mean you should stop trying. And so I think he's sort of like, I think he had time to reflect on what we did and was like, we really made a difference, and it was really worth it, all the risks that we took. Whatever horrible things happened to him in prison, that was the kind of mental, process that he went through.
I love it.
So yeah, I really dig that.
And let's do a quick time skip roll for the other two. So for both of you, just to quickly gloss over this, a time passes roll, this is on page 27, is a fortune roll, kind of like an engagement roll. So you start with 1D, and then you add and remove dice. Just to make it quick, you add dice for friends, remove dice for rivals. I think you both have one friend and one rival, which is what you start with. So that's going to cancel out. You both have a backing faction, so that adds +1D. Do either of you have a full row of bank after all those stacks?
No, not a full roll of bank. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you are starting at 2D. Do you have any special abilities that you feel would help you, kind of in a sort of downtimey time skip kind of way? Like the swinger has one called Always Hustling that kind of just makes them good at living life. This is kind of open-ended, but if you feel you have any special abilities that would that apply here, feel free to advocate.
No,
I don't think so.
Nah. Yeah.
I feel like dogged persistence for the hound kind of makes sense. Like you're just keeping at it.
Okay, sure. So that would put me to 3 dice?
3 dice, yeah. But
cool.
Then do either of you have any deadlocks?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you both do. Yeah. So 2 dice. Yeah, 2 dice for Cross and 1 dice for Kitty. And yeah, just make a fortune roll. Yep, just a fortune roll. All right, wow. That's quite different. So for Kitty, you're going to choose one win.
So much trouble with your dad, Kitty.
Oh my god, I know.
Oh yeah.
Kitty's going to choose 1 win and 2 setbacks, and Cross is just going to choose 2 wins that occur over this sort of 3-month period. If you go to the book on page 28, the wins you can choose from are you can add a new friend. So this could be Brainwave 60, or it could be someone else that you just make up. You complete a long-term project. I don't think you have any on the go. You can just make bank, which is you can add +6 to your bank. You can gain a backing faction, but you've already got those. You could turn a deadlock back into a key by working through your issues. Or you could swap one of your playbook items for one from a different playbook. Do any of those kind of stand out to you, Mo, for Kitty?
So definitely as a setback, gonna add a new rival.
Nice. Is this your dad?
How did you know?
That's awesome. I'd love to have my dad as a rival.
Yeah.
Love it.
And the other setbacks, you could take some harm. Maybe, I mean, we're skipping time, but presumably you have been sort of doing.
Yeah, I've been doing things.
You could deadlock a key. You could come out indecent for some reason.
Deadlock the key. I'm good on that aspect.
You could be indebted. You could have. I mean, Kitty is prone to spending money she doesn't have.
She is very true. Even though we have so much money.
Yeah.
So I think how I got indebted though is I was trying to trick out Brainwave's like box into like being like more like autonomous. So like he could at least roll himself around or like bipedal move or some sort of way. Like so I think I might have indebted that like where I've started to
like you put money into
getting Brainwave
all right, fun.
A better casing tricked out. Yeah,
love that. And what was your win that you chose? Is it Brainwave as a friend?
Yeah, let's see that.
All right, fun. So you could add that as a friend on your character sheet.
Okay.
And Cross, you just get 2 wins.
Oh dang. Sean, can you pull up the page again? I don't have it handy.
Yeah, sure thing.
So you can add a new friend, complete a long-term project, make bank, which is just +6 bank. You could turn a deadlock back into a key, or you could swap out a playbook item with another playbook.
I'll turn a deadlock back into a key. I think I'll undeadlock stubborn. I've had some time to cool down.
Nice.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then for the other one, I mean, I would be tempted to do like a long-term project. I just can't think of any right now. Like that seems really useful, but I don't have any.
I have another pitch, which is what if Zam becomes a friend instead of a rival? Like
that could work.
Member of the crew after the
yeah.
They would leave you with no rivals and a friend, which is kind of fun.
Yeah,
I like that.
Sure, I'll change Zam to
Awesome.
A shady friend.
Yeah, perfect.
He's warmed to me a little.
He's still a little shit, but he's our little shit, like.
Right.
Finally, Sean, why don't you make a roll for the crew as a whole? Fortune roll starting with dice equal to the crew's tier, which is 0. For each allied faction, take 1, so you got 1 allied faction.
No, we have 2 allied factions. We also have our citizenry.
Oh, that's right. Good call. All right.
We took the allied ability, so
that takes
you. We have Burn Core and Night Market as allied factions.
Nice. So that takes you to 2D. For each PC that has a backing faction, you get another 1D. So there's 3 of you. So that's up to 5D.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't have weak hold. You're not at war. There's 1 ongoing trouble, so back down to 4D. So just make a 4D fortune roll.
Yeah, sounds good. Rolling for groove. All right. And as I've consistently been doing, even on a lot of dice, I got a 5.
Again, so we would clear heat for the time skip, and then you're going to choose 1 win and 1 setbacks in the book. This is page 30. The wins are you could put +3 stacks in the coffers. I don't actually think you have room for that. 1 cohort could gain a new edge or lose a floor. So you could take a floor off your gang since they did so well in that score.
Yeah.
Kayla and Jag. You can make 4 crew XP. You could choose a new piece of base flair and choose a new crew upgrade. You could get another positive faction status. You could push the ticking time bomb back, but I think that's already at 0 because you blew up the rocket. And setbacks, you could mark +5 crew heat. You could take -1 faction status with a faction of my choice. One of you gets arrested, which is probably not a great choice after a prison time skip. Ticking time bomb could advance, which might make sense for a time skip because it's like
because Blue Raker 6 is back.
Yeah,
they're not giving up. I mean, they've had 4 rockets blow up before this one. They're not gonna give up just because. Yeah, I think I'll take that as the ticking time bomb advance with 2 ticks, and for us, I think marking crew XP sounds good for us, or we could get a new base flare or new crew upgrade. They're both. If we do the new crew upgrade, we can just get the vault and then kind of retroactively figure out where the
that's
money
fun.
could have gone.
Yeah.
How's that sound to folks? Like over that time, we got ourselves a vault, so we had a place to put all that cash.
All right, I think that's a good option. And I think the last thing we should do is choose that after this time skip, as the other two pick up Hollis from Ironhook and head back to the base. What is the new piece of base flare that the others have installed at the base in Hollis's absence?
Not the vault that we were just talking about? Or?
No, the
Well, that's an upgrade.
Upgrade, yeah.
So what do you have already? You have
base flare we have right now is
you've got a communication hub. I remember that.
Yeah, we have a front business, cross investigations, a communication hub with telephone radios and plasma vision sets. And
So I think you guys, I think it's fun if you have installed something fun when Hollis comes back.
I mean,
Can we also have quarters? Like, let's just maybe.
yeah, we can have a lounge quarters. That's one of the base upgrades.
Yeah, let's do that.
And that's
just because I don't think Kitty's going home anytime soon.
Can I also advocate, because that's an upgrade, and I think
that's an upgrade.
We haven't done XP, so you could definitely have that. But I know when we were picking Flair, Mo/Kitty, I'm not sure if it was in or not.
Yes, conversation pit.
Yeah.
Oh,
conversation
pit.
Yeah.
Conversation
in my office.
Yeah.
What we'll do is actually raise the floor of your office maybe like a couple of inches, like maybe like, and then like the main floor is actually where the pit is.
Love it.
It's fine. We'll figure this out. Things will be fine.
Yeah.
The Chuckleberry Temple won't know what's going on upstairs.
Oh my god.
And I think that's where we should leave it. So that was a quick time skip and prison thing, but that's where we leave Groove with Hollis out of prison. Spring and dawning. The first thing Hollis sees in the paper is that the Blue Raker project is now public and it's back on, and there's a launch date scheduled with new pilots.
All that work. Yeah. Tim, I think you said we cleared the wanted level because I went to prison, and we cleared the level. We cleared heat because time passed.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I dig it. Very cool. And yeah, Hollis looks worse for wear, but there's a new glint in his eye. Even though he's been beat up, he's more dedicated than ever to the cause. So
yeah.
Very cool. All right.
Awesome.
Normally I'd say we'd do XP, but I think we're running over. And if this is in fact our last session, then I think that's a great place to wrap up. If we decide later on that we're like, hey, let's play more, then we can
we can pick up the Evan.
We can always come back and retroactively do it.
Absolutely.
This was so much fun, Tim. Thank you for running this. I think blowing up, like knocking out Major Bowman over the head and like throwing a wrench in the thing and like barely slipping out and blowing up the Blue Raker as it's halfway out. I don't know. To me, that's like the cool, like it got all the pilots out. That just seemed like a really cool.
Yeah.
It felt like a Bond movie, you know?
It felt like.
Yeah, I was worried with those initial rolls, but yeah, it came together.
We were all worried about the initial rolls.
Yeah.
This score was almost scuttled before it even started.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
like, oh boy.
Yeah.
But we made a friend in the form of a spark mine.
That's right. You made a robot friend.
We made a robot friend. So wonderful. Well, friends who were watching and hanging out in chat, thanks so much for your for watching this. If you are interested in playing Blades in 68, or Blade 68, sorry, it is open for playtesting now. You can just Google Blades 68 playtest and there's a sign up form. It's going through end of April, so you've still got time to check it out and play it and give us feedback and let us know how to make it better. It's obviously already an amazing game, but you know, anything you find that can help us improve it is fantastic. It is now officially the most playtested game Evil Hat has ever had playtested. So
yeah.
pretty cool. There's over 1,500 people who have signed up to playtest, which is wild. So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your night.
Bye.